family of steelworkers.
Steel builds our nation.
Ron DeSantis served our nation.
When the world went mad, we stood as the citadel of freedom. Freedom is here to stay.
And stood for what was right.
Welcome back to America Decides. That was part of a new hype video released by the DeSantis super PAC, Never Back Down, today on the first full day of the DeSantis 2024 presidential campaign. Joining me now is the founder of that PAC, former Trump Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, Ken Cuccinelli. Ken, thank you so much for taking the time today to join us on what is a big first day for your preferred horse in this race. First things first, we've been anticipating that Never Back Down PAC is going to get about an $80 million infusion of cash from the governor's Florida statewide PAC. Has that happened, or when is it happening?
I don't know that we have received anything like that yet. I certainly hope we will be receiving that. That's up to the folks leading that PAC now. But as far as I know, nothing like that has come over yet. We are the largest PAC so far. We raised $30 million in our first month. And we have deployed $15 million of positive advertising, and we knocked on our 30,000th door in Iowa yesterday morning. And so, you know, to really capture the grassroots movement that's excited that the governor is actually in this race. So we're off to a good start.
We should remind viewers who may not recall or know that when you're running a super PAC like this that is endorsing a certain candidate, because you're living in the super PAC organization, you are no longer legally allowed to coordinate with his campaign, which is only now just getting off the ground. But we know that there were conversations before this began about how the super PAC might operate and how you might spend money and where and whatnot. So looking at the strategy going forward, you mentioned 30,000 doors in Iowa. I mean, initially here, the goal really has to be winning Iowa itself, right?
Well, sure, but we're building to win everything. We're building through Super Tuesday. No campaign or super PAC has ever done that before, and we will be prepared to go the distance just like Ron DeSantis always goes the distance. And that'll be true literally door by door, voter by voter, and none of the other campaigns will be able to compete with that, and none of the other campaigns have as much policy ammo and good news to report about their candidates as we do with Governor DeSantis. So we have plenty of territory to cover. That's about a third of the states, just to give your viewers a rough sense of how much of America we're looking to be prepared for. It's not just Iowa, though that is first, and we pay close attention to that.
When you say door to door, that is another thing that's a little different about what you're doing, is that instead of spending all the money on advertising, which inevitably runs counter to what the candidate would like, you're planning a pretty aggressive, and some would say unprecedented, ground operation in these states to get in front of people and say, take a look at him, or, you know, go see him if you can when he's here in person.
Absolutely. This is unprecedented, and we're professionalizing our door knockers. We've been recruiting people who are already enthusiastic about the governor and saying, hey, do you want to be on this team the whole time? They're getting a week's worth of training at our Fort Benning effort, as we call it. And not everybody's making it through that. But those that do, as I said, have already been deployed in Iowa, and they'll be rolling out to New Hampshire and South Carolina and Nevada and the Super Tuesday states shortly thereafter here in the next few weeks as more and more people get trained up. So it's quite an army that we're building, and it's a very ambitious effort. But we are really building on the wave of support that the governor has created with his amazing successes in Florida, frankly, standing against the tide, including President Trump, on things like COVID and Disney. And the media, he has the four of the biggest media markets in the country that have really kind of been in his grill for 5 years, and he's handled it very, very well. And those are tests that Republican voters like to see already passed, not tried out for the first time in a presidential election.
Let me ask you, I want to play for our audience a part of the announcement video that you released today. Let's take a look.
Okay.
We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. We will be courageous, and we will never back down.
I'm going to put up we have what we call a screen grab of one part of that video where you see fighter jets seemingly flying over the governor as he's thrusting his hands into the air in what looks like a bit of good timing. But our understanding is that's artificial intelligence, that wasn't an actual moment that happened, but one that was created in a lab, so to speak. Is that the case? And is this the future of political advertising, the idea that you can mix real with artificially created images?
So artificial intelligence suggests that something else put this all together other than a human, and that's not the case. I don't know if the specific camera shot in that one screen grab is from B-roll of an event, or if it is stitched together pieces, putting a military scene over top of him as he speaks. Obviously, the governor was in the military. He was not a pilot. He was a JAG lawyer in Iraq and in Guantanamo, and but I don't know the specifics of how these are put together. We put together ideas for the videos that we want to convey about the governor, and then creative folks bring a product that accomplishes that goal to deliver that message. And obviously there's fine-tuning and evaluation and competition for who does those. But I will never be able to sit in front of you and answer for literally every single screenshot, what angle, et cetera, and who's in it. But the words you heard about courageous and fighting the woke mob are themes that he has exhibited in his tenure as governor, and those are elements of his success that are controversial yet critical to America going forward. We believe, and so do millions of American voters, and some companies like Anheuser-Busch and Target and Disney are finding out that a lot of American families feel the same way as the governor, and he's the only one out there fighting this hard on those things for them.
So it may be his words, but you reserve the right to take creative liberties, at least with the images every so often, is what you're signaling.
Well, we certainly are going to deliver messages, and sometimes that won't even involve the governor. So, we're certainly going to keep his themes and amplify them as best we can. Excellent.
Ken Cuccinelli, founder of the Never Back Down PAC. You've been generous with your time before he was a candidate. We hope you will continue to be now that he is a candidate. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely.